Flavor Balance Heat, the podcast for hot sauce lovers and makers, is brought to you by Scoville.com. Try Scoville.com's hot sauce subscription box, where you pick the heat, flavor, and food pairings you want in your box. Get 1 or 3 bottles delivered to your door each month. Choose your heat level, flavor profile, and food pairings. And it's completely customizable each month. You no longer have to worry about getting sauces you don't like or won't use. Scoville.com specially curates each month's box based on your personal preferences. And best of all, High Desert Sauce Co., Butterfly Bakery of Vermont, and Irish Spike's unique hot sauces are all available at Scoville.com. Welcome to Flavor Balance Heat, the podcast for hot sauce lovers and makers. I'm Spike.
I'm not feeling well. I'm Zach.
And I'm Claire. And I'm tired.
And today we're talking to Homero Gonzalez from Harmacy Hot Sauce. How you doing?
Doing great. Thanks for bringing me into the shit show.
Yeah. Oh.
I think Zach's
Look at
about to
that
sign
face. Look at that face. We'll hear him. Maybe.
No, he muted himself too.
Oh, did he? Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Just taking a little off your plate. You're not feeling well.
Yeah, that's it. Wait just a second. See if he pops back in.
Or he's just left.
Yeah. Wow, he really did. All right. Well, then it still has a red thing there, though. Actually, but all right. So tell us your hot sauce history. How did you get into eating spicy food, and how did it become a hot sauce
Quit
company?
stealing my fucking question.
So, I mean, I'm a food guy. I grew up. I've been eating all my life. But no. So I'm Cuban. So I grew up in a house where my grandmother made breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day, and she showed love through food, and that was something that I picked up as well. But I liked a little bit of spice here and there. And I think the first spicy thing that I enjoyed when I was a kid was hot wings, which I love to this day. But my dad took me out to some sports bar, and I was like, it's the vinegar is so sharp on my nose, whatever. And then I took a bite, and I was like, ooh, salty, little bit of spice. I'm into it. But I mean, for the longest time, hot sauce to me was Crystal, Tabasco, Sriracha. I loved them. But it was actually Los Calientes from Hot Ones that was my first hot sauce revelation experience. A buddy of mine was a hot sauce collector, and we were doing some big wing event or something like that, and he brought out his whole hot sauce collection for us to mess around with. And that was my first craft hot sauce back in 2018, I think. And it just it was a paradigm shift in how I thought about what hot sauce could be or even meant. But I was an engineering student at the time, so when I went to go buy some for myself and saw that it was a 5-ounce bottle for $12 plus shipping, I was like, hell no, that's not going to happen. I looked at the ingredients. I was like, I know what all of this is. I can figure this out. I'll just make my own. I had no designs on starting a business, by the way. That was the furthest thing from my mind. Yeah, the furthest thing from my mind. I thought going into business was stupid. I mean, I was totally opposed to it. But a couple of years later, a lot of things changed for a lot of people. And my studies were not going so well. Lockdown brought, all classes online, so I wasn't learning a damn thing. I was paying full price for the pleasure. And I was pretty disillusioned with just the entire path that I was on. So I had been making, I kind of skipped a middle bit there, but when I decided that I was going to make my own sauce, I made, something in the spirit of Los Calientes. And that kind of taught me the basics of how to put together flavors in the hot sauce context. And with what I learned from making that sauce, I kind of just winged it one day, and it was we went to a brewery with a bunch of friends, and one of the owners of the brewery was receiving hot peppers from just somebody that was growing it for them. And I made a passing comment, and the guy was like, "Hey, just hang out right there." And he handed me a gallon-sized bag full of hot peppers, and it had habaneros and Thai chilies and Peter peppers and all kinds of other stuff that I still don't even know. But with what I learned from making my first sauce, I kind of winged it and just kind of put together this random assortment of ingredients that turned into what is to this day my favorite of my sauces, which is brimstone rim job. And I'm sure we'll definitely talk more about that later. But that was what kind of got me into making hot sauce as a hobby. And then once everything went tits up as far as the plans that I had made in life, after sharing that sauce with friends, they're like, "Dude, you got to start a business. You got to try and start selling it." And I was like, "Dude, you have no idea how hard that is. That is not a fun thing to do." Until everything else failed, and I was like, "Yeah, well, you know what? Let me give it a shot. Worst case, it fails like everything else." So, but that's what got my start, and I opened Harmacy Hot Sauce. Christmas Day of 2020 was when I decided, all right, we're gonna give this a real shot, and the rest is history.
Did somebody?
What's the rest? I mean, that's what we're here to
We're
talk
gonna get
about.
into that, I imagine.
I'm not asking you shit because you stole my fucking bit, bro. So we're just gonna sit here.
I think this started because. Go.
No, you go.
I think this is becoming your bit now.
Getting your bit stolen.
No.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Nope.
So it works.
So the process, getting into learning how to get through the FDA stuff, or do you co-pack or do you make it yourself?
Nope. Every drop is made in-house by me and crew. Yep. Navigating the FDA stuff and getting all the paperwork done. I mean, hey, going for engineering, I was used to hard homework. So it was really just another version of that, looking at all kinds of seemingly conflicting information and just trying to hunt down what I needed, which guides from which agencies, and reading through the 150 boring pages of just the label guidelines are 60 something pages. And so, but I mean, I read through all of it and assigned my labels as such. I've had my inspectors come by and look at stuff and they're like, yep, that's right. Look for a lot of free resources on all right, I need to do what's it called? A floor plan of the facility and note all this stuff. And it's like, all right, well, how do I what program do I use for this? Can I do it in Paint? Or just different, whatever thing that I could use that was free, be it fancy or not, it got it done eventually.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about the putting together the floor plan. That was a thing.
Yeah.
That was, haven't thought about that in a long time.
How did you settle on your 9-ounce jar instead of going with a 5-ounce woozy like most bottles?
So that was based from the fact that I really didn't have any money or equipment. So I needed to make this as easy for me as possible to do, because while woozy bottles were great, this was also during the pandemic, woozy bottles were really tough to find. Yeah. And I found that there were a lot of makers complaining that their usual suppliers didn't have any. But also with the way that my sauces are, I want you to cook with them as much as I want you to use them as a condiment. So I wanted there to be more. And I don't know why I didn't go with a 12-ounce bottle or an 8-ounce woozy or something like that. Actually, that's a lie. I do. My sauces are thick, pretty thick. And I didn't want there to be pepper plug in the bottle. Mm-hmm. That was always a little frustrating. So I just went with a jar with a wide mouth and, go get a spoon.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. And the jars are decently inexpensive. Also, I like how they present. I think they're fancier to my eye anyway, especially combined with my very simple branding. Because I want the sauce to be the vibrancy, the color that's selling it. And then you've got that air of elegance with the clean black and white label with just a little bit of red, a little flourish of red in the branding.
Yeah, I like the labels a lot.
Yeah,
and
they're really
the clean
nice.
look.
Thank you.
Did you do the designs yourself, or did you get?
So I did the layout of the label and that design, but the little flourishes I had used assets in Adobe Creative or Adobe Express, I think it's called now. Adobe Spark is what it used to be. Anyway, I had done a version of that on my own, but then I have a buddy of mine who is a tattoo artist, and he added a little bit of extra dimension and turned some of the fleurs into little peppers and added extra little dots and did just a little bit of tweaking to really bring it into a professional place, and it made a big difference. Yeah, it was cool.
Flavor Balance Heat is brought to you by High Desert Sauce Co. out of Tucson, Arizona. Zach is the owner and creative mind behind High Desert Sauce Co.'s hot sauces. He says, at High Desert Sauce Co. we make sauces that we love. The balance of bold heat and fresh flavor is the heart of our philosophy. We keep it simple by using the best ingredients we can get our hands on and letting the natural flavors run the show. High Desert Sauce Co. Just the good stuff. Visit High Desert at hdsauceco.com. Tattoo artists are my favorite artists to work with because Absolutely. They know how to make everything stand out just the right way and thick lines and yeah. Awesome. So, what's it been like? How's the trip been? Tell us some ups and downs.
So it's been a wild journey. There have been plenty of ups and downs for the first, because for 21, 22, and 23, it was just, me on my own. 21 and 22, I still had a part-time job. So that was like the figure it out period. I did my very first events in August of 21, and I think I just did 6 for that year just to kind of get my feet wet and start meeting people and figure out how to sell my sauce in person, what people responded to and how it was even enjoyed by strangers now, by people that aren't biased, that don't want to just say nice things to me. I also live, by the way, in Cookeville, Tennessee. So it's got about, 30 to 40,000 people, the population. So not huge. I am about an hour and a half away from Nashville, Chattanooga, and Knoxville, all in different directions to the east, south, and west. But that's a bit of a haul for what's it called? For when I was just getting started. So I was doing like my local farmers market and all that kind of stuff, but it's really, really small. So I couldn't get a lot of revenue and traction from that. But so 22, I spent a lot more time working on the look and the feel. I came out with another flavor and all that. And that was 22 and 23 were just working as many events as I possibly could. And it was murderous. It was so much effort to be somewhere almost every weekend while manufacturing sauce, trying to find up through 22, I was still manufacturing partially in my home kitchen. I know that's a no, but that was part of the reason why I had that presentation, is so that my sauces would look as professional as possible, above reproach, above asking. Like, oh, clearly that guy's got it going on. He knows what's up. But I was also a nerd, so I knew that I was doing the processes correctly. When I got my process letters, they told me to do exactly what I was already doing. So in 2023 is when I first I rented a commercial building in my area, because there's no commissary kitchen in Cookeville. I'm not going to drive an hour and a half to lug all my crap there. I just know that that's not going to work for me. If somebody else can do it, great, good for them, more power to them. But I needed something here at home. And yeah, I was very lucky to find the building that I'm currently in, rent that out. It was a piece of garbage. It's a leaky building. It costs a fortune to keep it cold or to keep it warm. And it's creaky, and there's like fun slide parts of the floor where it just like dips, and it's a mess, but it's my mess. And it's the building that I'm currently using to operate out of. Yeah, it was a piece of garbage building, and we ripped. I ripped everything that was in there out, and started off with just a couple of tables, a couple of racks, and one 10-gallon brew pot with an induction cooker, an induction burner underneath it. Oh wow, that was it. And what's funny is we're still using that system. I don't have the space. I can't fit a steam kettle in that building at all. So what I've done is just duplicate that system. So now I have multiple 10-gallon pots on induction cooktops running side by side. So my 30-gallon batches are 3 10-gallon batches at the same time. Yeah. I don't have a filling machine or anything like that. So This brew pot has a spigot on it, 1/2-inch spigot, and I have a extra wide mouth nozzle with a 45-degree thing. So it's just twist full on, full off, open the spigot, fill the jar, rinse and repeat, do it over again.
That's how we do ours still.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's slow, but it works.
We do have a steam jacketed kettle, but we still, as we go, we heat it to a certain amount and we put it into the pots because we have to wait for it to cool anyway.
Right.
Because we use plastic. So when we take them out, take it out of the pot and we put it out of the kettle and put it in the 2 other pots, it cools it down pretty well at that point so that we actually get it just about where we want it. So
nice. I was curious about the plastic because it's got to be a lot cheaper to receive. It's easier to work with. It's easier for customers when they can just squeeze right out.
Yeah.
So there's definitely the pros and cons of being in glass. It's heavy, it's expensive, brittle, but man, I do like how it looks, how it feels. It's a reassuring weight to it. But I do want to do products down the line that are not in glass because it is a huge pain.
Yeah, and the shipping's a lot easier because we just throw 4 of them in a box and send it off.
I mean, plastic's not that easy. You got to bring it up to like 190 degrees, and then you got to cool it off to like 170 degrees to fill it. It just sounds like a waste of time to me.
It's not that hard. I mean, as we talked last week, a lot of times it cools off just going into the hopper. You cool it off quite a bit if you have a piston filler. So, it's...
You say that, bro, but I mean, I fill my bottles. They're like 190 degrees. So I leave the kettle at 200, and it's, you know what I mean? Goes in the bottle at like 188. Not really losing a whole lot.
Well, that's the thing, though. You go up above 200. You always talk about that. But we just go to 190 for the allotted amount of time, and that's 10 degrees difference. By the time it cools down, we're right in our sweet spot. It actually goes pretty quickly.
And batch size is different, too.
Yeah.
If you're separating it into 10-gallon pots versus, Zach, you're working in 40-gallon kettles. And the 40-gallon kettles are insulated. I mean, that's what the jacket is. It's an insulated.
Well, we're using a 40-gallon kettle. Yeah. It's just
right,
we're
you're
going
using
from
it to cook, but then you take it out. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I take it out of the 40-gallon kettle, too, and I put it in a 10-gallon hopper. Like, what's the difference?
There's lots of different processes out there.
we all designed our own to fit our needs.
That's it.
Well,
exactly.
and Homero, like you said, that when you got your processes back and they just had to do exactly what you were already doing, I think that was like the giant light bulb moment for me because we're a co-packer. We work with historically we've worked with a lot of different process authorities, and I realized that is, with some exceptions, that is literally just what they do. You tell them what you do and they go, yep, that looks good.
That'll work.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. And I even had one who came back and told us to do something that like would not work. And I was like, no, we can't do that. And he's like, okay, tell me what you do. And I was like, wait, what? And I was like, wait, are you supposed to tell us what to do? And he was like, no, tell me what you do. And if that sounds good, then I'll say yay. And I was like,
works for me.
Yeah, right? I was like, yeah, I was very confused. But that was the beginning of my journey of being like, I think I could do this myself.
All right. I feel like that's something that we all have in common is maybe is when we started this off, we're like, how hard could it be? And then we find out and we're like, oh, shit.
I remember, Zach and I went through a lot of it at the same time, but I would be on the internet looking for, answers, and you'd end up reading arguments between people like we do now, but we kind of know what's going on, going back and forth about processes, and you don't know which one's right at the time. You're just trying to wing it and figure it out. So it took a while. Like I bought one of those handy filler things. And
those are a piece of shit.
Things.
And I saw a post this morning. I saw a post of a guy going, I've been using that for 4 years. And I'm like,
clearly he has arm muscles.
Yeah.
like
that thing was
not. And you have to have
bad.
no texture, no texture whatsoever. and it's just so much easier to dispense from a kettle or from a pancake dispenser or from just to pour it. Like all of those things are so much easier than like pumping that thing across.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And I know for a fact my stuff has tons of particulate. It's got all the seeds and skins. I strain nothing. Everybody in the pool. So I saw what it was meant for, and I'm like, that's not even close. I'm not even going to try.
Yeah.
I bought one off Amazon. I tried one sauce and I sent it back. I was like, I broke the spray. After like 4 pulls, it broke. I was like, fuck this thing.
Yeah. I think those things were like 3D printed. I don't think that guy's in business anymore, but they've got other ones now.
I'm Claire George. I own Butterfly Bakery of Vermont. We make hot sauce, mustard, cookies, and granola, and 100% of our products are made with Vermont ingredients. The thing that I hear most often from people is that my hot sauce tastes like the peppers that are in it. We do really simple recipes that don't get too crazy and nitpicky, just to really accentuate the flavor of the peppers that are in there. The unique thing about our hot sauces is how much we feature the farm and the relationship with the farm and really bring the terroir of Vermont to our hot sauces. I am pretty sure I am the #1 purchaser of Vermont-grown chili peppers. I would love it if there would be a legitimate pepper market in Vermont where people would know Vermont for its peppers. We're all better for supporting each other. You know, and I think that part really shows itself with the collaborations that I do with the other businesses and the other farms, that I love working together and coming up with new ideas and presenting each other with new challenges. And I think overall that's the attitude here. And I absolutely love it because that's my attitude. I try to live my life with love. The ingredients that I use, I would say that my values are reflected in that, that I use ingredients that, again, feel good, feel loving, feel supportive. The relationship with the farmer was how it all began. If I changed the reason for it being, if I went out and bought some commodity peppers, you know, it might not be as good.
You can find Butterfly Bakery of Vermont hot sauce, mustard, granola, and cookies at butterflybakeryvt.com.
I like in a lot of ways, I feel like I wish that there's so much more information available out there, like for when you're starting out, for figuring out what you need to do or what you need to not do. And I just feel like it's so much more available than it was when I started doing hot sauce. But at the same time, I'm almost glad I didn't know what I was getting myself into. You know, when I started it, I just treated it like, I mean, we're already doing commercial food production. And so I knew all about the health code, the health department, I knew that side of it. I didn't know any of the rest of the stuff. And so I just kind of like, I was able to just kind of learn it like a little bit at a time. And every time I learned something new, I was like, oh, and now I do that. And you know, I went to a shared use kitchen and they were like, do you have a scheduled process? And I was like, oh, what's that? You know, so. But
I like your funny words, Magic Man.
And like, yeah. So I wonder if I had known how regulated it is, how different it is from selling cookies. Like, and that was also before FSMA too. So like FSMA's changed a lot of the rules on us as well. So like there was just so many things that I didn't do back then because they weren't a requirement, or I didn't know that they were a requirement.
Yeah.
And then I learned as I went. But I do like the fact that there's resources, because really when I started making hot sauce for the farmer's market, I looked on the internet and I was like, everything I read was like, if you don't follow these ball recipes exactly, you're going to kill people. And I was like, I know that's not true.
Right.
So just tell me what the rules are and I will follow.
I was like, so the Tennessee Department of Agriculture website isn't like, it doesn't spell it all out, but it has the bullet points that give you the information that you need to be able to search everything out. And what's interesting is not related to that directly, but like a couple of days ago, I came across a video on YouTube is like how to start a hot sauce company. And I was like not expecting very much from it because it just like it's a bunch of clip art and a kind of shoddy voiceover. But like high level, the guy nailed it. It's just like these are the steps that you need to do. And it's like, you know, come up with an award-winning recipe, or like maybe something like that. Like come up with a good recipe that people like. Do this part, do this part, do this part. And doesn't tell you how to do those parts, but that's like your roadmap, which I thought was really cool. I was like, damn it, that would have probably been helpful, but
does
Okay.
Oh no, I was gonna say, does University of Tennessee have a process authority? Is that like, yeah, that's what I thought. They have a food sciences department.
They do. Yep.
Yeah, that's what I went.
I think the first time I signed up for the Better Process Control School, I think it was through University of Tennessee. I think.
Hey, me too.
Me too.
Well, so there isn't one in Vermont. There isn't one in Vermont. So it's a little like wild. I mean, Cornell is the most common one. Cornell and University of Maine are the two most common food sciences places to go around here. But I remember when I first took it, I couldn't No, when I first signed up, I signed up for UC Davis because they were the only ones who had it online. And then I delayed on doing it, and I didn't have to do it because I did have somebody working with me who had the Better Process Control School certification. So I didn't do it right away. But I signed up for UC Davis, and then they stopped offering it online before I finished the course. And so then I went, I think it was to University of Tennessee at that point. But because now everything's online, it's so much easier. But the other option would have been to go to Maine, or no, sorry, go to New York, go to Cornell for like a week-long intensive course or something like that. And I was like, I can't. What?
Pass.
Yeah. I feel like there's just more. I don't know. There's more resources. It's not easier,
Absolutely.
but there's more resources.
Sure. Yeah, for sure. I would agree with that.
Well, when I went to take mine, it was UC Davis had just closed down their online, and there was only two. I think I could only find two, and it was Tennessee and North Carolina, I think.
Yeah, North Carolina is a big one, so probably.
And so I just
tell you
did
what,
Tennessee.
the NC State program was way easier than University of Tennessee, by far.
Yeah. I'm going to send one of my employees real soon here, and I think I'll send them to NC State.
Well, I don't know how true it is, I hear University of Tennessee now has a fast track program specifically for hot sauce.
That'd be good as long as it's not.
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean the $400 wasn't fun to shell out.
Yeah.
Never
the
is.
worst for me was not knowing what I needed to do. There were so many times in my history that I would say like, okay, what else do I need to do? And they're like, no, you got everything. You're good. And then like suddenly I would hear a Facebook group or somewhere like, does everybody have this? And I'd be like, oh, wait, no, what? What's that? What do I need to do? I felt like there was this constant rolling. And a lot of it is because, FSMA changed things, the rules were changing, but it just, just having, I know a friend of mine started a sheep's milk yogurt business. Like she has a farm with sheep's milk. With their own sheep, and they make their own yogurt and ice cream. And they took a how to make ice cream course at Cornell, and it was a very expensive. This was like for professionals, but like she had this whole like thing laid out for her. This is how you do it. I was like, I wanted that so much.
Yeah,
I think Washington State there's a PDF file floating around somewhere that details all of the hot fill and hold process. And while, I learned it from a bunch of different sources and all that, I just thought that is really cool just to have like, hey, here's a quick little package. Here's all about hot fill and hold right now. Because there's a lot of people that'll watch my videos, but like, wait, don't you got a water bath can that to be safe, or you're going to kill somebody? It's like, no, this is hot fill and hold. I'm actually obligated to do it this way by law. Like this is, and here's how it works, and this is what the critical measurements that we have to hit. Like it's a whole thing,
which I think also helped us.
I didn't know they had one.
I think that the whole. All the regulation about hot sauce with the, critical control points of pH and temperature and all of that, I think helped too when FSMA came in, because a lot of the requirements for FSMA are just already requirements for us. So it was less of an issue to take that on. I think the traceability one is throwing some people for a loop right now.
Traceability bullshit.
So far, it's not been too bad for me because I only make one sauce in a day, and that's the date code, and thus I know exactly when and where it came from.
No, you're supposed to log all ingredients that you put in that.
Yeah, I do that. I log every ingredient, every batch, every single detail.
Yeah,
it's annoying. It's more annoying for an inspector to come. He's like, "Hey, where's this data?" And I was like, "Oh, cool. We're just going to shut you down then."
Yeah. We had got a pretty decent system of, as things come in, knowing which batches they're going into and making sure we use up that entire thing before somebody doesn't just fill the bin with whatever new batch and all that stuff.
The new lot number. Yeah. And you never want to end up in a recall, because there's lots of those happening. I mean, I guess it's not if, it's when, but still, you want to be prepared when that happens.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right?
I was kind of wondering if they, I've seen so many recently. I was thinking, gosh, are they because everything's getting cut. I'm like, have they been planning this for a while? Like, okay, let's just take care of all this all at once before we don't have any money to do it.
Well, it's only the Texas Pete one that sounded like it was an inspector who found the error. The other ones, I think, were just initiated by the companies themselves.
Flavor Balance Heat, the podcast for hot sauce lovers and makers, is brought to you by Irish Spike's unique hot sauces and Vandal pepper sauces. I'm Spike, the owner and executive saucier. Our sauces are handmade in the Pacific Northwest using the best possible ingredient. We believe that hot sauce equates to a balance of sensational heat coupled with a robust and complex flavor profile. Live your hottest life with Irish Spikes. Irish Spike's unique hot sauces and Vandal pepper sauces are available at saucecult.com.
Not necessarily a recall, but your story, Zach, what you had to go through was unfolding right at the time that I was starting the company. And it's because of you, actually, that I adamantly will always manufacture myself. No co-packers. Because of that absolute horseshit situation that you were thrust into, that was thrust on you, rather. I was like, well, that's not going to happen to me. I'll run into new problems and different stuff, but definitely not that.
Hey, man, shit happens,
It does.
It's inevitable. It's, mistakes get made sometimes. It's just not saying that their mistake was okay. I tried initiating a recall for that. With the FDA, and when I called the representative for my area, she's like, dude, I'm fucking inspecting, dealing with 5 other states. You're small potatoes. I'm not doing shit for you. I was like, oh, okay, thanks.
At least you tried.
Wow.
But there is this thing, because not just because Claire's a co-packer, but because we know other people that co-pack. There's a lot of really good co-packers out there. But it is unfortunate that the ones that get known are the ones that do the, that make it the whole industry. It's like the reason we started this podcast was because people weren't, we had so many cowboy hot sauce makers around. We just thought, okay, let's just
still do.
Yeah, still do. But at least if they listen to us, they'll get a good idea of what the things that they're supposed to do just based on this. At least that, I didn't have that. And it's nice that that is a thing. So
I was recently talking to the guys at Hook and Arrow, and Sam was telling me, Zach, that right as they were starting and they had just dumped a ton of money into the process, they had put a lot of work, they were just about to start with their co-packer. They heard you talk at a it was like Hot Sauce Summit or something like that, talking about your horror show experience with a co-packer, and you were just so adamant, never go with a co-packer, never do it, you should always make it yourself, never go with a co-packer. And Sam said that it was he walked away from that just blood drained from his face, and he was like, oh my god, I'm just so this is all over, we can't do it. And he said that after you, he was probably the most traumatized by that whole situation.
No, I was just I said I will never use co-packer unless I absolutely have to. And my point was, I was like, if you're going to go with a co-packer, just make sure you trust your co-packer, because I didn't trust these guys going into it, but time was running out, because how Hot Ones does it.
Tiny window. Yeah.
Gave you 5 weeks. We're already a week and a half into it. Got to figure it the fuck out right now. Yeah, I never really
sometimes
trusted.
It's less than 5 weeks.
Oof.
Yeah.
Oof.
Never really trusted the guys I went with. I mean, lesson learned.
Yeah, there you go. So,
maybe.
Do you have any hot sauce hot takes?
I don't like habaneros. I don't think they taste good. I don't like them at all.
Right?
A lot of people say, "Oh, they're so fruity and floral," and nope, they're metallic and bitter to me. And that's fine. So I think that ends up working in our favor, Zach, because we will make a sauce, and then we're going to use habaneros because A, people like them, and B, they're really easy to come by. But where somebody else would taste it, be like, that tastes like habanero. I love that. That's not good enough for us. We got to keep going. Yeah. And I think it makes us make better sauce in the long run.
Oh, I thought, are we soulmates? Did we just become best friends?
We're not going to know for sure until we kiss.
There you go. I mean, you had your opportunity.
But who turns into a frog? That's the question.
Do you hear this voice
they
right
both
now?
pointed at themselves. I like it. So, that's it? Just the habaneros? Is there any trends in the hot sauce industry? There's so many.
Food is so subjective.
Are you going to make a corn sauce?
Huh? Am I going to make a what?
A corn sauce. Are you going to...
It was funny. I was thinking about it until there were like a million that came out. It's like, all right, then I guess I'm not. I try to make stuff that, I try to make stuff that is maybe similar to something that exists, but is still quite different. Several of the sauces that I've made, people will try like, man, I had nothing like this before. I'm like, yes, that's what I want to hear. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
So sure, taking familiar flavors and familiar ingredients, but combining them in unfamiliar ways has been a lot of fun. It's been my calling card, as it is for you guys as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Should we do a hot sauce shout out?
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to grab my my show and tell stuff.
Oh, I want to go grab it real quick.
You want to go grab it?
Yeah. We'll be right back.
This weekend, the reason I was in Quebec was there's a tradition up there called the cabane à sucre, which means sugar shack, or the sugar cabin for maple syrup. And you go to the sugar shack and you eat this just ridiculous, overly salty, overly porky, overly mapley meal, and you eat a lot of it. And you're in this big hall with lots of people, and it's madness and noise and food, and you just shovel and then you go and it's a tradition. And and it's great. It is great, yeah. But you always show up like an hour or two before your reservation. So and then you just hang out, and that's what you do. And why? And it's cold. This is an awful time of year to be hanging around outside. And so most of these sugar shacks will have a playground for kids and a fire pit and maybe some a petting zoo or something, so that you have something to do while you're just standing there for an hour or two. But it feels like, you say 6 or so, and then you don't start sweating until 9. You have a reservation at 5. And so, you show up at 2, have fun, but you could just have fun where it's warm. That'd be good too. Anyways,
all right. So
yes.
What did you bring?
So I brought, actually brought 2 things, because one, I just think you guys would really appreciate because it's cool. This is the corn yuzu hot sauce from, what's it called? Of course, I'm going to blank on their name right now. It's a horrible thing to do. Noma. That they do.
Interesting.
That sounds cool.
Yeah. Super interesting. Let's see, what's the ingredient? 45% apple cider vinegar, black currant wood oil, yellow habanero, celery juice, yeast reduction, which is water, split peas, rice, salt, fresh yeast, freeze-dried gooseberries, yuzu zest, salt, and that's it. And it's good. It's delicious. It's like a great fermentation project, and that's what they specialize in. It's a decent hot sauce. But what I really this one I just wanted to bring because it's cool. What I want to do for the shout out and is this is a tropical coffee habanero sauce by Chris from Captain Cook's Food, whom I got to see again at the Philadelphia Hot Sauce Festival a couple weeks ago. And this has mango, banana, habaneros, garlic, onion, tomato paste, coffee, vinegar, salt, and pepper. And I have not opened or tried it yet. And that's what I'm going to do right now.
What was the name of that company?
It's not a company. It's just a guy. Captain Cook's Food. That's his Instagram handle. Awesome. He's on TikTok as Captain Cooks as well.
I've recently discovered I'm enjoying tomatoes with fruit. It really adds a nice umami base to the fruit and rounds it out. And it's not something I'd ever really thought of before until I tried it. And I was like, this is really good. So, yeah.
I'm working on a fruit ketchup right now.
I guess, right. That fruit ketchup is absolutely a thing. So, it makes sense that they would taste good together.
It reminds me similarly of when I grew my first Cherokee purple tomato, fresh from the garden, still sun warm. and I, sliced it up and had it with a little bit of salt. And I took that bite and I was like, oh, right. Tomatoes are fruit.
Yeah.
I understand that now.
Yeah.
I've had tomato the vegetable. Now I'm eating tomato the fruit. This is a whole different animal.
All summer long, from the moment that the very first tomatoes are available, I'm eating massive quantities of tomatoes all day, every day. And like by like end of November, when like they're really not available anymore, but they've been in storage for a little while, I'm getting a little sick of them, but like I know that they're going to be gone soon, and it's just not the same to get like a winter tomato. Even like a good, hydroponic winter tomato is just nothing compared to a summer tomato.
100%. Couldn't agree more.
What'd you bring, Claire?
This sauce.
Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you try it? Are you going to try your sauce?
I'm still stuck on the nose right now. It smells crazy. Yeah, I've got the bananas coming through, the coffee in the background.
That's one of the things I found out, thanks to Sam from Sam Sauce, is that acidified bananas are the only bananas I like.
Oh, crazy. So not fresh, but in a hot sauce or something like
bananas,
that.
But yeah, when I put them in a sauce, it's great.
You have a sauce that has banana in it, don't you?
That almost
That's
tasted like
acidified.
That almost tasted like an Oreo to start. It was very that didn't hang there. Now I'm getting the rest of it. The coffee is a good background. That's definitely where that Oreo-esque flavor came from. It's like an earthy fruit kind of thingy going on. I got to see what I would put this on, but real tasty.
That's really cool. Well, I brought Hook and Arrow because I was hanging out with those guys, and I brought their Chipotle sauce, which I haven't tried. I'm not going to try it tonight, but it looks really good. It's got like tomatoes and sun-dried tomatoes, and the ingredient list looks like something that I want to try. And I like Chipotles. I like Chipotles a lot. They're some of my favorite things. So they're probably my first. Chipotles were probably my first favorite pepper. And they're maybe still my favorite pepper. I'm not sure about that. But yeah, I'm excited to try this from Hook and Arrow Chipotle.
Awesome.
What about you, Spike?
I have. I'm actually going to do just a shout out because it's the bottles over at the other house. But Secret Aardvark's Chipotle. Speaking of Chipotle, I love that sauce, man. I've been eating it like crazy. It's so good. I've been putting it on everything. So
I haven't tried that yet. I got to do that.
You'll like it. It's really, really good.
Nice. What about you, Zach?
I have a grilled pineapple hot sauce from Underground Roots, which is a clothing company. It's a collaboration with Gindo's.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
That's a hot sauce I've not had. I've not had theirs. And there's so many of them, but I haven't had any of their sauces.
I said I hear amazing things.
Yeah. I need to just order some one day.
I had a couple at the Illinois Sauce Fest last year, and they are quite tasty.
Does anybody know them at all? Or
not well, not beyond a meeting at an event.
Yeah, I might reach out and see if they might want to be on the podcast, just because they've got so many. It'd be really good.
Yeah. Anyway, Zach.
Anywho,
what's your question, Zach?
Dude, I'm not good. I'm just here.
Homero, what is next for you? Where do you see your company going?
So let's see. Fill the hole that is getting out of debt, both personally and for the business, and build that stability into the short or medium term, and then it's off to the races. Then it's time to scale properly.
There you go.
I've put a new focus on my marketing this year. I've worked with 2 different marketing agencies, and both of them nearly bankrupted me. So I'm not doing that anymore. Fired the last ones, and it was like I just need to learn to do this myself. So I spent an intense week of just doing homework, really marketing homework, and figuring out what the best way to move forward was. Put my content together in a nice little package. And it's like, all right, here we go. This is either going to work or screw me over. So spent like several hundred bucks a day on ads, and thankfully it's working. Or else I'd be crying right now.
What didn't work for you? I'm embarking on a marketing journey right now. So what didn't work for you with those other companies?
Their copy was garbage. It was really bad.
Yeah.
there was no soul to it, no warmth whatsoever. It was all heavily market speak. They did a lot of like FOMO type deals and things like that to try and tug at heartstrings, and just really shisty type of behavior that I don't think resonates with my brand and is absolutely not what I sound like at all. And they're like, oh, no, we got good copywriters. We'll be able to get your sound and all that kind of stuff. It's like, cool, well, here's a bunch of scripts that I've written, and you have all of these videos to draw from. And they're like, cool, we're going to get to work on this right now. No change whatsoever. And at the same time, when they're doing stuff, I can't do my own things because A, they're spending my money, and B, I don't want like what I'm fiddling around with to interrupt what the experts are doing, you know? And I'm just like sitting there watching for days of like 0.86 ROAS or something like that. I was like, hey, you know, this is like hemorrhaging money, right? And you guys cost thousands of dollars a month. Like this is going to fix itself, right? And they're like, yeah. And after a certain point, I was like, you guys,
it just takes time, man. It just takes time.
It just takes time.
Like,
I don't understand how their business model.
7 months of giving you $2,200. Where's my fucking money?
100%. And in a month of doing it on my own, I have done better than they ever did. So, screw
That's
them.
fantastic.
Thank you. I appreciate it. That's
congratulations.
I really needed that.
Well, I've gone through a few different, like, specifically for social media marketing, a few different options, including paying outside companies to do it. And again, no soul, no, just awful copy. And I've seen them this particular company make good copy or make good posts for other companies. But I think it required an enormous amount of input from the company.
Right.
And I was like, if I'm going to be spending that much input and that much time doing it, why don't I just do it?
Yeah.
And so I've had people in-house and I haven't been able to land it right with that, like figure out the training that is necessary to have them as an in-house person, have the voice that I want and all of that. And so finally, when that kind of came apart, it was this realization that like, I'm taking it over and doing it myself, you know, and that's, you know, at some point I would love to step away from that, but meh. But I do have a voice that matches my brand and, you know, that resonates with my customer base. But I am about to start doing like paid ads with a company. And so that's going to be interesting to see how that works. But the voice has become so important to me. I've really realized that
100%. And I think it's important to have a couple of failures behind you to that helps you keep sharp with what they're doing. And they're like, oh, well, we're going to do this. Like, well, I've heard that before. I know how that turns out. So tell me why you're going to be different or hit the pavement because, you know, I can't afford that.
Oh, do you have any questions for us?
Yeah. So at your scale, what does a bad day look like?
Waking up.
Tough. That's a low bar, friend.
Oh, are we being serious?
But yeah, genuinely. Some days they're going to suck more than others for sure. But like, what's like, you know, you're in the middle of a day and you're like, oh shit, this is not going to be a good one. We got to buckle up, or like, what can go wrong?
I don't have very many bad days like that. But I do. No, I mean, I do have them, but I don't have very many of them. But for me, I think the worst days have been where I've had to throw a batch out because something's gone wrong.
Yeah.
That hurts.
You know, that's 400-600 bottles or whatever. And you're like, that's a lot of money. And, you know, you just have to, with those things, it's almost like, you know, I'm a recovering drug addict and alcoholic. And, you know, in the middle of all that, when you're starting to get towards being cleaned up, you realize everything's shit. It can only go up from here. And that's kind of what I get back in those moments where I'm like, okay, it can only go up from here. This is crap. So, you know, you throw it away and make it again.
The mental game, game. Heard that.
Yeah. And we've had days where things just keep going sideways. I want to say Friday. One of those days, agitator in our 100, it was Thursday, agitator in our 100-gallon kettle just stopped working. Fortunately, we didn't need it that day because because that's not what we're doing. And it was storing an error code. Somebody's like, hey, that's storing an error code. And so we had to figure out how to fix it. And the person we have in-house who often fixes those sorts of things was not there that day. And then one of our immersion blenders stopped working. And then, what else? There was a bunch of things that happened. One of the O-rings on the bottle filler stopped working. And then one of the batches we were cooking wasn't behaving like it's supposed to behave. And we were trying to figure out what was weird about it. It was just like thing after thing after thing. Oh, and that's also that day we had decided that morning, or we decided late the night before that we had to totally change what we were making that day because an ingredient hadn't arrived yet. An ingredient we were waiting for and that was supposed to have already arrived and it didn't. And so as at the end of the day, then we realized, shit, we need to just totally change gears. And that had a ripple effect for the next 2 weeks on our entire schedule. So yeah, that was a tough day.
That sounds like a tough day. Yeah. So you have a tightly scheduled, because you, from what I remember, you have a team of like 15 people or something like that. Yeah. So everybody's got something to do. There's always just a bunch of moving parts. So a big change like that, yeah, I can definitely see that. And we're in the middle of a long time.
A big project right now. Like normally something like that would, trade spaces with something else. And then it only affects those 2 days and you have to switch everything around. But we're in the middle of this big project that's, taking us a few weeks to do. And so it all of a sudden everything shifted, and then that shift caused another thing to have to come in, and then it actually did. In fact, failure. It was and it actually did work out for one client who had reached out and said, "Hey, are you doing this production?" And I was like, "I did not realize that was urgent." We had a miscommunication about urgency. And so I was planning on doing it after this big production. And he was like, no, we need that like now. Like, I want you to ship it to me by Friday. This, by the way, was Wednesday. and I was like, oh crap. And I was like,
that's good news.
And this client got like really pissed off at me, and like he never gets pissed off at me. And I was like, crap. And then I was like, hey, guess what just happened? And so we were able to slot his production in.
Our loss is your gain.
Right. So, and that production still, we didn't even finish it because it was just everybody had to change mental gears, and it was a totally different kind of production. And just everything was different. It's fine.
A proper shit show.
Fine. It's fine. Yeah. And my staff is great, and they were stressing out, but we made it work. It's all good.
Nice.
So, yeah.
I had, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, equipment failure is definitely something to keep in mind. I have a backup. I only have enough room for one immersion blender, but I do have a backup in case that one goes south. Because if it happens in the middle of a cook, that's not going to work.
Yes.
We had to use a small blender piece by piece for our cherry 1 year. Luckily, it wasn't a huge batch at that time. We were still pretty early on, and now we have a backup. So,
two is one is none.
But I had breakfast with my buddy at Bear Culture Kombucha on Wednesday. And it was nice because nobody else in town really that I know talks the language that we all talk here.
Yeah.
And so we got to have breakfast, and it was a different thing still. It wasn't hot sauce, but it was similar. And so we were going back and forth, and it was just a really comforting, nice breakfast, and
hanging out with a peer, always
all
good.
The same problems, you know, and we were just like, nobody gets it, man.
That is cool.
Yeah.
It is nice to get to have these conversations at this level.
It really is.
I'll talk to somebody else, and they're like, "Oh, yeah." I'm like, I'm being annoying. I'm sorry. This is just I like. This excites me. I'm sorry. This is the only thing I do. So
well, and it's funny. Actually, I'm going to tell him next time I see him. He was the manager of the restaurant that we bottle in when we first started, and he would joke about like I would only talk hot sauce because I was at work, and so he'd say, "Hey, I just talked to Spike, and he said hot sauce, hot sauce, hot sauce, hot sauce, hot sauce."
Ooh, hot
and
sauce.
so I would walk past him and he would be like, hot sauce. And that was the hello for like years. So now I should just walk by him and go, kombucha.
Should we do speed run?
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. All right.
Even though I didn't answer his question, but that's okay.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
I'm good.
He said
Come
waking
on.
up. That was
Yeah, that's what I
thought that was your answer. Okay, all right.
speed round.
All right.
It is.
Here we go. Fast answers, so don't take too long to think about it. You win the lottery. What's the first hot sauce related thing you buy?
I'm going to break ground on a facility. I mean, like from top to bottom, 10, 15,000 square feet. Oh, tip top, spick and span. I want it.
There you go. If you had to give up the hot sauce business but could do absolutely anything else, what would you do?
Underwater basket weaving or stay at home astronaut. No, I'd probably be a food manufacturer. I love big food. The concept of hot sauce. I'm still going to be a food manufacturer. Hot sauce is my foot in the door. I want to make snacks and my grandmother's black beans and make that a product on the shelf. So something in food. That's
awesome.
Not a restaurant. God, not a restaurant.
Yeah, really. You only get to use one hot sauce for the rest of your life, so it's a desert island hot sauce. What is it? It can't be one of yours.
I don't know. Tapatio. Just like it's going to go on just about anything. It's the vinegar and salt, like the classic standby, but it's got a little bit of extra zest or something in there.
So
I
just want to make sure you're talking all the other hot sauces in the world. You'd pick Tapatio
for like if it's just one to stand by. Yeah, I suppose so. I haven't.
All right.
It's a trustworthy hot sauce.
There you go. Okay. If you had a sandwich named after you, what would be in it, and what type of heat would you use?
I think it would be like some kind of like a corrupt Cuban sandwich. I'd call it a sweaty pig. But it would be like the heat would probably be like some kind of fermented red serrano paste or something like that. And then it would be, the usual Cuban sandwich ingredients, but spicy versions. So spicy mortadella, spicy salami, spicy ham.
That. If you could go back in time and change one thing about your business journey, what would it be?
That's hard. Not a lot, because there's nothing that I would change that wouldn't also rob me of a really valuable lesson. I don't know, maybe drink less when I started. I worked a lot of events hungover in the start.
I can understand,
but it was also having fun. So whatever. Anyway,
you got to get to know people in the industry. Anyway.
Absolutely.
What is the best business advice you've ever received?
It's a cheesy one, but work on your business, not in your business. It's a night and day difference when you can realize that, because you get it told to you from like the moment that you're like, yeah, I'm seriously going to do a business, but you don't. It takes years to actually get to be on the other side of it. Yeah. To remove yourself from your business, and I just got there like a month ago, and it's immediately a difference. It's
right?
Crazy.
It's huge. Okay, if you had to fight another hot sauce company owner, who would it be, and would you win?
Elijah. From Elijah's Extreme. And yes.
I love it. If you could collaborate with any hot sauce company, who would it be?
Actually, Claire, that's you.
nice.
Because you have a much larger operation than I do. And that is something that I am looking forward to building up to. But not only is it, you have great hot sauce and a cool team, but you guys make a wide variety of different foods. Mm-hmm. And like I mentioned, I want to be a food manufacturer. Once I get established through hot sauce, I want to make snacks and different foods, dry rubs, barbecue, whatever, the stuff that a co-packer might make. But I want it to all be my different brands, my different tasty machinations. So working with you, I think would be a really cool opportunity to learn about that kind of scale.
If you ever want to come out to Vermont and see our facility and what we do and all of that, you're absolutely invited.
Much appreciated.
One of these days, she says that to a lot of people. One of these days, we're all going to converge all at the same time.
Fantastic. It'll be a party.
Free labor for her, man. Come on.
Right?
It's true.
Yeah.
It's
true. That's not a bad idea.
I'd just be happy to be there.
Okay, if you had to pare down to only one sauce, I think we know this one, but which one would it be?
Brimstone rim job, hands down.
Really, really good sauce. I've been using it.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's super easy to use
just
about anywhere. I gotta send you some. We should trade, Claire.
We should trade. Yeah, let's trade.
Let's see. describe your favorite hot sauce from your line without saying a single ingredient or heat level.
Roasty, smoky, earthy.
I like it. All right. And if Pepto-Bismol reached out to you and asked you to make a hot sauce using Pepto-Bismol, what flavors would you use and what type of heat would you use?
Throw in some sweet tarts, maybe some Necco wafers, little talc for body. Now, I would probably mint, spearmint specifically, pomegranate, and definitely Reaper, fresh. I want the fruitiness in there to work with the pomegranate. But yeah, how to make it medicinal adjacent without being disgusting would be an interesting challenge.
Awesome. And that's it. Thank you so much. Yay. It's nice to finally get to sit and talk to you.
Yeah, this is a lot of fun. I've been looking forward to it for sure.
It's great to meet you finally.
Yeah, likewise. It's really cool to have made to like feel in the hot sauce community in the industry, because at the beginning of last year is when I did my first Fiery Foods show, so I still felt like kind of outside of it, and that was the kicking off point of like meeting everybody and having my sauce start to like circulate in the hot sauce circles and stuff like that. So it's very cool to be here. So thanks for having me.
This has been a Spike Mine Media production.